How are we doing, ladies and gentlemen? It's your man Nex here, which means it's time for Gamer Theories. Back in Season 2, we saw a vision in the House of the Undying that showed the capital of Westeros in utter ruin, and it has left a major unanswered question ever since. Was it nothing more than a hallucination, or was this foreshadowing the downfall of the crown? Well, in today's video, we're going to take a look at 5 plausible events that could cause the doom of King's Landing. Just before we get to the video, it's time for some real talk. I can't thank you guys enough for everything that you've done for me. There is no way that when I started this channel 5 months ago that I thought I'd be stood here now working towards making this a full-time gig. All the comments, the likes, the discussions and overwhelming support has just been amazing. And I know that now is the time to grow this thing. And with your help, I know that we can make this work. The first thing I need you awesome guys to do, head over to Twitter and get following. You can find me at GOT_theory. The second thing I need you legends to do, open up Facebook and get on my page and get sharing. You can find me at Gamer Theories. And lastly, I've just made a new account on Patreon. If you're interested in the future of this channel, want to have direct involvement in the content that's being created, then go and check out the page, check out what goals I've got, and check out the pledge levels and the bonuses that you can expect as a Patreon, and see how you feel. Just remember that your epic support means higher quality videos released on a more frequent schedule. Anyway, enough about all that. Let's get to the video and see how the capital could soon be destroyed. Starting the revolt at number 5, a city rebellion. Mob mentality can lead to extremely violent situations, and it's been hinted at several times now. Back in Season 2, you had the purge of Robert Baratheon's bastards. Then when Joffrey was attacked, they ripped off a man's arm and held it up like it was a trophy, and Sansa was almost raped. Jesus, Season 2 was grim. And then again when Cersei was taking her walk of atonement through the streets of King's Landing, these people are vicious, and it's not hard to see why. Poverty and hunger ravages the capital. They've been harassed by the Faith Militant, abused by the Gold Cloaks, and how many innocent civilians were killed when Cersei blew up the Sept, and now she's their queen. For me, what could bring about a city rebellion the most is the fact that the crown is no longer allied with the Reach, who supplied them with virtually all of their resources. Famine is sure to set in throughout the city, and what do you think will happen when the people of King's Landing are left to rot by their government? Heating things up at number 4, if Cersei burns, they all burn with her. We know there are more caches of wildfire hidden throughout the entire city, and Cersei definitely has the kahunas to destroy the Red Keep if she feels she's forced into a corner. I mean, she smiled and admittedly took enjoyment at watching people burn just because she didn't want to face a justified trial. What do you think she'll do if the capital is under siege and they can't hold it from usurpers? Well, we already know. When Stannis looked on the verge of taking King's Landing, Cersei was sat on the Iron Throne ready to poison Tommen and commit suicide. Deep down, Cersei's actually a coward, and if she can't be queen and keep the Iron Throne, I'm almost certain she'll find a way to make sure that no one else does. Overseeing the rise and fall of empires, at number 3, the Iron Bank will have its due. It is no secret that the crown owe the Iron Bank obscene amounts of money. The gold mines of Castle Rock have been running dry for years, and Cersei has just blown up the only house that were capable of helping them out financially. Things aren't looking so good for the new Queen of Westeros. The Iron Bank has already made subtle moves to get their gold back. First, by calling in 1/10 of the debts, which forced the crown to send Mace Tyrell to go and treaty with them, while simultaneously funding Stannis Baratheon with the intention of him becoming the new king of Westeros. If Cersei refuses to help Jon Snow and the others in the Great War against the White Walkers, then the capital could soon find itself becoming increasingly isolated. And if that happens, I don't think anything will stop the Iron Bank having their due. Taking the aerial assault at number 2, Daenerys and her dragons. In literally the very closing scene from season 6, we're left with Daenerys, her army, and her dragons presumably sailing towards Westeros. We've known about her campaign for the Iron Throne for quite a long time now, but as that last bit of cinematic ended, you really were left feeling her empowerment and that when season 7 kicks off, some serious shit is going down. Wouldn't it be truly poetic if the meaning behind what was arguably Daenerys' most famous quote was symbolizing her destroying the capital and the monarchy?
Lannister, Targaryen, Baratheon, Stark, Tyrell. They're all just spokes on a wheel. This one's on top, then that one's on top, and on it spins, crushing those on the ground.
It's a beautiful dream. Stopping the wheel. You're not the first person who's ever dreamt it.
I'm not going to stop the wheel. I'm going to break the wheel.
However, the strongest piece of evidence that suggests dragons could be responsible for the doom of King's Landing comes from one of Bran's visions, and he's had the same vision twice. The shadow of a dragon flying over King's Landing. Was this Bran seeing into the future? And finally, at number 1, the Night King and the aftermath of the Great War. When we saw a ruined Red Keep in Daenerys' vision in the House of the Undying, I wasn't too sure whether the emphasis was just on her not becoming queen, especially when she reaches out for the Iron Throne but doesn't touch it. But when we saw the exact same vision but from Bran, it's had me convinced ever since that the capital is going to be destroyed, one way or another. Bran's visions are different from anything else. They've always either been in the past, present, or the future, which means this is surely coming. And what if this is the bittersweet ending that George is talking about? Sure, it would be sad to lose Jon, Tyrion, or Daenerys in the Great War, but I don't think that would be an equivalent exchange for saving mankind. In the vision, everything is covered in snow. The place is eerily silent and looks to be completely abandoned. Does this represent the truly bittersweet ending? They find a way to defeat the Night King and they manage to win the Great War, but by the time they do, they've lost everything and the Seven Kingdoms are no longer inhabitable. Is there a future for the world of men in Westeros? Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments below if you think that we're going to see the doom of King's Landing. And if you do, then how do you think it's going to happen? Don't forget to follow me on Facebook and Twitter. The links are in the description below. And for you hardcore subscribers wanting to show your epic support, then make sure you check out what kind of Patreon you can become. As always, it's been a pleasure, and until next time guys, take it easy.